Continue. And with that said, thank you everyone for joining us. Today's workshop will be a workshop presented by Derek Xiong and Yumika Shina. They are here to talk about DVC's Year Up, and the title of today's workshop is Launch Your Dream Career with DVC's Year Up program. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand the virtual mic to our presenters today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Super excited to be here. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Derek. Looks like we do have our presentation up and going, which is awesome. In true Year Up fashion, I do have what we call a login question, and I'm going to post that into the chat. Essentially, a login question is when you first kind of get started with one of our Year Up workshops or classes. We have a login question that typically folks will put into the chat. So the login question is a fun one. What Disney or cartoon character were you strangely afraid of as a kid? So would love to see some responses in the chat. Think for myself, I was afraid of Scar from Lion King. I thought he was terrifying and very, very scary. So I was scared of that Disney character. How about you, Derek? Any character? Aladdin? Huh, okay. Again, if folks can put their answers in the chat, that would be great. Was it really Aladdin the character, or was there a character in Aladdin?
The character.
Really? Huh. Okay. All right, y'all. Looking for some responses. The Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Yes. And you know, he was also terrifying. I don't know. I think it's just something about them being like really like hairy or whatever. I don't know. It was just, maybe it was just too much hair. I don't know. Stitch. Okay. Yeah, I guess I could see that. That's a good one. Other folks who want to answer, feel free to. Again, this is what we call a login question. For those of you who are joining, hopefully you were able to hear my login question. If not, I did put it in the chat. It's what Disney or cartoon character were you strangely afraid of as a kid? Ursula. Yeah, she was definitely terrifying too. Cool. Maleficent. Oh, I don't know if I remember the monster in Maleficent. Might need to rewatch it. All right, cool. Well, thanks for indulging us in that login question. So like we mentioned earlier, Derek and myself were here representing Year Up. We're going to be doing kind of a nice informational session, and we are part of the recruitment team. So I'm going to just quickly introduce myself. My name is Yumika Shina. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am the recruitment manager at the Diablo Valley College site. This is actually my first real informational session, so I'm really looking forward to it. Give me grace if I do miss anything. That's why we have our expert here, Derek, in the house. But if I do miss anything, Derek will definitely keep me accountable and help me out. But I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to Derek to introduce himself.
Thanks, Mika. Hi, everybody. Derek. I go by the he, him series, and I'm the recruitment specialist with the Year Up DVC site. It is a pleasure to see you all on this call, and yeah, looking forward to spending the next hour with you. Back to you, Mika.
Awesome. Thanks, Derek. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and start off with our agenda. And let me just... so we just went over a login question. We're going to get into what Year Up is and an overview and as far as what Year Up is, and talk a little bit more about the mission. The requirements to apply for Year Up, the program structure for Year Up as well, and internship tracks that we offer, and what next steps look like as far as enrollment is concerned. And then with that being said, we're gonna get right into it. So what is Year Up? Hopefully, you might have heard of us before, maybe through a friend, a professor, maybe you've seen a flyer, all that good stuff. But if you haven't, that's okay. Year Up is a national organization that equips young adults with skills, knowledge, and experience that today's businesses demand, and ensures these young adults reach their full potential and thrive in professional careers. Year Up offers a variety of things, and I would say the top three would be a pathway to turn your talents into a way to reach your career goals by providing access to some of the world's leading companies, a true community of like-minded, motivated young adults and mentors who support each other's success, an opportunity to transform yourself and your life. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Derek.
Thank you, Mika. And I see that we have a few other folks hopping on the call, so welcome. All right, so right now I'm going to be going over the mission of Year Up, and it is short and simple. It is closing the opportunity divide. So what does that mean? On the left-hand side of this image, you see people, right? And this represents 6 million young adults looking for higher education and stable career pathways. But there is a disconnect. On the right, you see tall buildings, right? And this pretty much represents corporate America. And there's another statistic. There are 14 million middle-skill, high-wage jobs available over the next decade. So as I mentioned, there is an opportunity gap that exists in our country, the divide that exists. And it exists for many reasons, whether it's socioeconomic status, lack of quality education, the zip code you grew up in, right? And so many other reasons in terms of why this opportunity divide exists in our country. So in terms of how we close that opportunity divide in our everyday work, we have many Year Up locations, which we will show the Year Up locations here in the Bay Area, but we are nationwide. We're a nationwide organization, as Emika mentioned, headquartered in Boston, and our founder and CEO, Gerald Chertavian, this was his mission when this first launched, in terms of closing the opportunity divide, giving young adults like you the necessary skills and the experiences to help you succeed. All right, with that, I'll toss it back over to Yumika.
Thanks, Derek. So as far as requirements are concerned on who can apply at Year Up, you do have to be between the ages of 18 to 26 years old. You have to have a high school diploma or even a GED. Eligible to work in the US, so DACA recipients are also encouraged to apply. Interested in a career in tech, you have to be motivated. We are definitely looking for folks that can be motivated and really keep themselves accountable as far as the workload when it comes to Year Up. And along with that, making sure that you're within a 60-mile radius of Year Up site. So depending on the site that you might be applying for, specifically even just DVC, we do want to make sure that you're within 60 miles of the campus.
All right, thank you, Mika. And before I go to the next slide, we've got to mention, if you have any questions, we'll be dedicating the last half of this hour in terms of answering your questions. So feel free to note the questions that you have, and we'd be happy to answer it in just a little bit. Okay, this is a short and simple vaccine requirement slide that I'm going to quickly go over. So all prospective students wanting to apply for Year Up Bay Area must provide proof of full vaccination or have an approved religious or medical exemption by Year Up National, our corporate headquarters. And for PTC sites, which is like DVC, we are a PTC site, the Year Up DVC location, having the exemption approved by the college as well. So in terms of here in the program, we have our own application process, and then our prospective students also apply with the college, going through their eligibility requirements as well. And then, yeah, that pretty much outlines our vaccine requirement. This is in place as we are returning to a hybrid model. So for instance, our spring 2022 cohort, we are soon to enter a hybrid model where a few days of the week, Year Up DVC students would be in person, and the rest of the days of the week, they will be learning from home. And we anticipate the hybrid training model being in place for the foreseeable future. With that, I'll toss it over to Yumika.
Awesome, thanks, Derek. So as far as, where you can apply and some of the sites that we do have obviously our Diablo Valley Pleasant Hill site. We have our San Francisco site, our Facebook Meta site, and our Silicon Valley San Jose site. So those are the 4 sites that we currently have available where you can apply to. And next slide. Perfect. And as far as, just the program structure, I do want to let folks know that, it is college level work. So with that being said, it is very much full time, which we'll get into in just a minute. But the first 6, or I should say the first 5 months is all about learning and development, or the way we like to say L&D. And this is really dedicated towards college courses and a lot of Europe programming that we do. So that is the first 5 months. Then the last 6 months is where you're placed into an internship with one of our corporate companies, organizations that we have established a partnership with. During that time, you do earn a stipend. So we do have a small amount of money that students do earn alongside the college credits, which I believe is 32 units, Derek? Yes, 32 units. You are also doing a lot of community building, a lot of networking. It is, like Derek mentioned earlier, hybrid model as of right now. So we are doing a hybrid training environment. So you will do some things in person and some things virtually, just like you might be doing currently for school. And we are a high support organization. So we do have high expectation with high support. So that means we do have coaching with your mentors. We do have a student services team that is able to help you with food, clothes, whatever that looks like for you as far as your needs. So just so you know, that's kind of our overall picture for our program structure. And I'll kick it back over to Derek.
Awesome, thanks, Yumika. And then a little bit more context into the stipend. As Yumika mentioned, you earn a stipend in the program, $200 for the first 5 months once you're in the program. So the $200 is monthly. And then once you're at internship, $1,000 a month once you're at internship. So you will be earning a stipend from during the entire duration of your time in program. Thank you, Yumika. Alrighty, so right now I'm going to be going over the classes that you would be taking in the Year Up DVC program. This is just a small snapshot of some of the many classes that you would be taking. So in terms of business communications, that is one of the courses that you would be taking in the program, and the instructors would be DVC professors. So we're based here at the DVC site, the Year Up program, and we have a great partnership with the college. And actually the college professors are the ones teaching the Year Up DVC courses. So that is great to have different professors from different departments teaching our Year Up students and helping them become career ready. So in terms of the business communications course, our instructors will be teaching students business writing, business etiquette, resume building, professional email etiquette, and so much more. Again, we really want to see you succeed and in your career, and specifically at your internship and then your career, right? In terms of having that professional email etiquette, learning what it means to write professionally in the workplace, right? Those are things that you would be learning during the business communications course of the program. We also have career development and interpersonal relationships. This is taught by Europe staff, and this is known as CEDAR during the program. And during this part of the program, the CEDAR course that you'd be taking, the instructors would be your program managers who would be supporting you during your entire time in program, and they would be teaching you other career readiness skills, right? And so in terms of how to network, working with different personalities, interview preparation, time management, and so much more. And in addition, our internship services team will be leaning in to teach CEDAR lessons as you near your time at internship, to helping you become intern ready, and bringing you a great emphasis on what to expect during the internship phase of the program. And finally, information technology. We have different information technology instructors, professors at the college DVC that are teaching Europe DVC students, and they teach hardware skills and software development to Europe DVC students. All right, this pretty much goes over the class schedule in terms of the time commitment asked from you. So by applying for the program, you are acknowledging the commitment that you would be spending during your time in program, Monday through Friday. So notice that this is a Monday through Friday schedule commitment. Monday through Thursday, 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, Fridays being your half days, 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, Fridays afternoons being your free to use. So Fridays would be your half days. So doing the math, it's about 35 hours a week. So think of the Year Up program as a full-time commitment. This is not just for the Year Up DVC site, but for all of our locations in terms of the hours of commitment being asked. A common question we've been getting a lot, especially during this pandemic, is if classes are virtual on Zoom, does that mean that I can work outside a program, or do I have to be in the program from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock? The answer is 100% yes, regardless of whether or not we are virtual, in person, hybrid. Your commitment is outlined based on what is here on your screen. So as you can see here, the orange square boxes, those are the programming commitments in terms of gathering as a community, and then the rest of your week would be the Year Up DVC courses with, of course, breaks in between. But do note the class schedule. It is a common question we've been getting a lot. And with that, I will toss it over to Mika.
Thanks, Derek. So you might be wondering, what tracks do we offer at the different sites? So I would say, if you have a pen or paper, go ahead and write some of these tracks down that you might be interested in that each of our sites do offer. So as you can see from San Francisco, we have 4 tracks: help desk, desktop support, Amazon Web Services, project management, client services, sales support. And then at Mission College, our Silicon Valley site, we have project management support, data analytics, and IT help desk. And at DVC, we have project management support and IT help desk. And at Meta, we have project management support and IT help desk. Again, if there's a track that you're interested in, please definitely make a note of that so that you can go online, which I'm going to drop the link right now, so that you can look over what these tracks look like. What do they on it? Definitely, because each track is different than the other. And you'll notice that each site also has its own designated, so they're not the same. Each site has its own tracks that are available. So one site is not always going to be the same as the other. And for client services sales, it is a brand new track and it's about 8 months. So if you're interested in banking or just customer service, this could be a track that you might be interested in learning more about. Another thing that I do want to make a note of is that for San Francisco and our Facebook Meta site, those that have a bachelor's or folks that without a bachelor's or a bachelor's in arts or bachelor's in science may apply for DVC, but if you do have a bachelor's, you're not unfortunately eligible for our DVC Mission College site. So that's just a heads up on that. Anything you want to add to that one, Derek?
I think you covered a lot of it, Emika, in terms of a little bit more context as to why we don't allow bachelor's degree folks, as Emika was mentioning. It's just because during your undergrad, it's very likely that you've taken a lot of the courses in the DVC Year Up curriculum, and that's pretty much the main reasoning for that.
Yeah, exactly. And then you might be wondering also, for those of you who might, again, have heard of Europe, a lot of people talk about the amazing internship opportunities that are available. And with that, these are some of the amazing companies that we do work with. We place you into a role, not a company. So you are going in with the intention of getting experience and getting knowledge and having the opportunity to really use this time to network. Network is like the biggest thing that we could probably offer y'all. So there's so many people that use LinkedIn just because that they have the opportunity to network and connect with so many professionals. So that's really the point of placing you in an internship, is just getting used to that role and being able to network with others. As Derek mentioned earlier, there is that $1,000 a month that you get paid during internship. So that is definitely something that's appealing for a lot of folks. And what else? There are still going to be deliverables and meetings that you'll have to be attending for Gear Up as well. So just do remember that not only are you focusing on your internship, which is technically full-time, some people are doing about 40 hours, but you are also completing deliverables that are due for Year Up. So there's going to be that level of balance and time management that you'll have to do from your end as well. All right, and I'm going to pass it back over to Derek.
Thank you, Mika. Alrighty, so I'm going to be going over our positive outcomes of the Year Up program and our Year Up DVC program. It is a very successful program, and a large majority of Year Up DVC students move on to the internship phase and graduate from our program, which is obviously the most exciting part. So first of all, 100% of qualified students earn an internship. In terms of what qualified means, right? That's kind of like an ambiguous term. So in terms of, as long as you pass all of your Year Up DVC courses with a grade of C or higher, 70% or higher is the threshold. And that's the majority for a lot of your classes, right? In terms of what a passing grade means. And that's what we follow as well in terms of what qualified means. As long as you pass all of your courses with a grade of C or higher, then you move on to the internship phase of the program, as well as meeting program expectations in terms of arriving to class sessions on time, punctuality, not missing many class sessions at all, stuff like that. The average wage alumni earn after graduating from the program is shortly over $28 an hour, and 87% of alumni are employed or enrolled full-time in college. And we get this question a lot in terms of, if they do the program full-time, right? If this is a full-time program, are they allowed to continue their education at another community college or another university? And while we do not encourage it, at the same time, it's possible, right? If you take one other DVC course while being in the program, that's doable. But at the same time, we want you to be mindful of your plate management, because as Mika and I have been mentioning all along, being in the program, it's like school, right? So there's still going to be projects, there's still going to be assignments and deliverables to complete. So really keeping in mind in terms of time management. Another question that we get a lot, are you allowed to work outside the program? Absolutely, right? You're an adult, you can make your own choices. And it's totally possible to do the program, the Year Up program, which is about 35 hours a week, and then working part-time. So like on the weekends, right? That would be a perfect opportunity to do part-time work, and that's what a lot of our students do. Again, keeping a reminder of the schedule: Monday through Thursday, 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, Friday mornings, 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, Friday afternoons, free to you, as well as your weekends. So keeping that in mind. Anything to add on that, Mika?
No, I think you covered it.
All righty. Okay, right now, finally, we're going to be going over the overview of the admissions process, and feel free to take a screenshot of this. I know that this will be recorded as well. So if you need to refer back to this, go ahead. So in terms of what the admissions process looks like for the Year Up program. So first of all, submitting an interest form that you'll be finding on our website. Mika, I'm not sure if you can find the interest form and maybe paste it in the chat. But it's also easily accessible to find online, and signing up for our portal. So as long as you submit an interest form, hit submit, then you will be sent an automated email to sign up for our portal. The next step in terms of filling out our online application, that will be after you sign up for your portal. So when you sign up for your portal, then you'll be logged in, and then you'll be seeing an application where you can complete for the Year Up DVC site. Fall 2022 is when we will be recruiting. In fact, we're doing that right now, and that's why we're here. We recruit year long, by the way, every spring and fall. So, and we pretty much align with DVC schedules. So the fall 22 cohort would start around late August, same time as the college. Same with our spring cohort, right? So I know the college started their spring semester late January. That's around the same time where we started our spring cohort as well. So we align pretty well with the college schedule. After submitting an online application, then you would be signing up for an interview in terms of what the turnaround time would be. So folks like Yumika, once you submit your online application, our system knows that you've submitted an application. We review your application. If you're eligible based on the eligibility requirements we outlined, then you would be eligible for an interview. You do not get email, right? In terms of finding out you've been accepted for an interview, you would have to go into your portal and you would just get an automated message or like a status bar saying what your next step is. And that would be signing up for an interview if you are eligible. After signing up for an interview, then you would have your interview. That takes approximately an hour. One thing to note about our Year Up interviews is that it is not like a job interview. Please do not stress over it. Even though it does take an hour, it's just an opportunity for us to get to know you as an individual, what led you to where you are today. You can talk, there's questions around your career goals, stuff like that, but definitely nothing high stakes at all. And most importantly, the results of your interview would not affect your eligibility into the program, but we do encourage you, of course, to do your research about the program, why you're interested in either project management or IT. Those are, of course, the two career tracks that we offer here at the DVC site. And that's pretty much in terms of the pre-work before your interview. And if you do those things that I just outlined, then you would be very successful in your interview. I can almost guarantee you that. And of course, maybe knowing a little bit about Europe, right? Maybe have 2 fun facts about Europe in your back pocket. Okay, so after your interview, you will be waiting for a decision letter. After your interview, our admissions and recruitment team come together, reviewing your application and the interview. And then that will take approximately 2 to 3 weeks in terms of finding a decision letter in your portal, whether you've been offered conditional acceptance or whether or not you were denied. In terms of what conditional acceptance means, this is a common question we get a lot. And that pretty much means that you are, for right now, accepted, but you have a bunch more onboarding admissions stuff to go through in terms of onboarding documents that here at Europe we need, as well as applying with the college, right? In terms of applying with DVC, signing up for FAFSA, that's what pretty much means conditional acceptance in terms of taking care of all those onboarding tasks before the first day of the program. After you get a decision letter, if you get an offer letter, you accept the decision, then the onboarding process begins, as I mentioned. Please check your emails frequently for updates. I think that this is the number we encourage prospective students to do, especially if you are accepted into the program, because that's going to be our communication method through you, right? Through your email and through your student portal. So keep checking those. It's just a good professional habit to do as well in terms of checking your emails, responding back, keeping that open line of communication. And then after you completed all your onboarding tasks, then the enrollment process will officially begin. All right. With that, this is our contact information. This would apply to you for our DVC site. If you're interested in the other sites, these are folks you would be reaching out to. Yumika, feel free to put your contact info in the chat box as well, so folks can reach out to you as well. But again, we start in August. If you're just joining us, my name is Derek. I go by the he, him, his series, and my email is on your screen, D as in Derek, my last name spelled out at yourup.org. And I see that Yumika put in the chat box her email as well. Thanks, Yumika. All righty, with that, that pretty much concludes our presentation. I know that was a lot of information, but hopefully you all took some notes, learned something new about the program, and Yumika and I are happy to answer any questions that you have. Feel free to raise your hand, come off mute. And if there aren't any, I know someone sent me a private message as well, so I can go over that as well.